Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was gonna ask before we get ready to wind down to Samir is all about like cyber tech and cybersecurity. I know we spoke a little bit about it, but in the US, they've had, of course, hackers that have hacked into the banking system and allowed people to not receive their deposits on time from work. And we've heard about in Greece and other places where some of the local citizens have not been able to get their money out of the bank. But what ways would you tell someone that's listening to our podcast episode today to maybe prepare themselves or their family so that they don't have situations like that occur in their family or in their country where they don't have access to their money or their capital? Like what ways, from what you've heard in the fintech industry, are safety measures that the local or regular everyday person can do to shield their finances from stuff like that?
Thank you, Julian. That is a very important question because if you are interacting in this space, then you should also be aware about the risk and the grievances which are available to you or which you are exposed to. Now, coming on that part, I believe the capacity building will definitely play a major role in that. Like for example, if let's consider a country like Germany, which has an aging population. In that case, we need to make sure our strategy needs to be a different one. On the other hand, if we consider or talk about India, we have a demographic dividend. The strategy would differ according to the economic situation or according to the population size. Like in India, when we have the youth, we need to make sure we are advancing the youth at a level wherein if any threats comes or if any threats happens to them or if any threats or any threat is there, then they are equipped with the right strategy or the right mindset at that time. Like for example, let me illustrate it with an example. Like for example, if anyone is getting a phone call, like you must have heard about these deep fakes wherein people are calling on the context or on the pretext to be someone which they are not. uh, for example, if my father is calling and saying that I need this much funds, you need to make sure the phone call is coming from the credible source first. Second, you need to double check with your father whether he is actually asking for the money or not. Thirdly, if you were able to filter first two steps, then third, you need to make sure you are transferring the funds in the right account, your father's account, not on the account or on the link which that particular person is sharing. If all these steps are clear, then you need to make sure the money is actually received by your father. So these are certain steps which differ according to the population size and according to the threats prevalent in any particular jurisdiction. Because uh, something which is prevalent in US may not be prevalent in India, and something which is prevalent in India may not be prevalent in Germany. People exploit the weakest link, and weakest link differs from jurisdiction to jurisdictions. So this the basic things which we should be aware of is the knowledge, and the knowledge of the laws is a must for everyone. I'm not asking you to be the expert in the law, but a basic knowledge of how to file a complaint, how to file a grievance redressal, what are the steps to be followed, needs to be with everyone. Because there is this one famous quote in the legal profession: ignorance of law is not an excuse. So you cannot give an excuse that I was not aware about the law. So these are my few like tips or sense on this part.
Yeah, no, that's definitely right on par with what all of us need to be understanding, that we have to secure ourselves and also be able to have the right security for any type of cyber threats or any type of tech threats that will be coming in the near future. And so, Samir, before we let you go, just in talking about the let's talk about blockchain and also when it comes to Bitcoin. You and I were talking a little bit about that when we were in Bangkok at our lodging that we all were staying at. But when it comes to blockchain and also Bitcoin, I don't know if you heard recently that President Trump, he just released a meme coin that he's looking, of course, to run run up the numbers in the US right now, and everyone has been talking about blockchain since 2019, 2020. But where do you see the future going for big countries like India, like the United States of the continent, and also with China, and even with places like Singapore and Malaysia that we just spoke on? Where do you see blockchain going as a main form of payment and exchange with the currency? And then also, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin taking over the usage of dollars?
Yeah, thank you, Julian. Before jumping to this question, I would like to add something because in the beginning, when we mentioned what would be the context of this podcast, then I mentioned that I will also be sharing certain tips as to how you can travel the world. So currently, I'm traveling the world, like through representing different organizations as a speaker, as a panelist, and through that, I can easily travel the world. And so far, I've traveled to Switzerland, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Germany, Bangkok, and many more will be there. But to give you a brief about how you can travel, you can apply for fellowships, you can apply for research grants, and you can, depending on the knowledge or the repository which you possess, you can definitely be a speaker, and through that, it's one area wherein you can travel free of cost. Now, coming to the question which you were asking, what's the future of the blockchain? Way back in 2022, I believe, yeah, I did a research on the blockchain part, or more specifically the NFT part, non-fungible tokens, and I realized that some of the countries like UAE, they are very proactive in promoting Bitcoins or NFTs, and they even, in fact, established certain authorities. ADHD is one such authority in Dubai, which manages the usage of the NFTs and whether licenses needs to be taken for the organizations which are working in this field. But in India, currently the law is very silent. But on the other hand, when it comes to the taxation part, uh, if any income you are earning from Bitcoin, it's taxable at the rate of 30%. But it means that the usage is not prohibit, or the operation is not prohibit. But if you are earning the income from out of that, you need to disclose it to the authorities and you need to pay 30% tax. Coming on the part whether what is the future of this space, I believe the economy currently is in a very fragile position, and the way Bitcoin is innovating this landscape, it's helping uh, uh, the community players as well as the developers to to bring something innovative to the table. And as soon as this technology or this instrument will be able to innovate, I believe the future will be bright. And if we see any stagnant growth within this sector, uh, then I believe the government will accordingly respond to these situations. So it totally depends on economy to economy, because all the economies are not same, and all the economies are not don't have the same objective for which they are currently working. So if we talk about India, then it's taxable, but they are letting it to innovate till the extent you are not harming the privacy and the security of any other person. Over to you now.
Absolutely. And so you've heard it first from Samir. You have to be educating or even re-educating yourself about the blockchain and also about, of course, Bitcoin. Y'all know we talk about different forms of payment systems, especially, which is one of the main reasons we've traveled all over the globe to see how different countries are managing their payment and currency exchange, and each country is completely different, as you heard Samir say. All right, y'all. We're going to do just a quick wrap up for some final jewels for today's episode. You just heard from Samir. He was dropping a ton of wisdom on how you need to prepare for the future, especially with the cyber tech industry. You hear about it, but until it hits your home, until you hear that something is affecting your pockets and you can't access your finances or your banking system, then you're not really taking it serious. But just as we see a lot of catastrophes happening all around the world this year, from fires to storms to hurricanes, earthquakes, all the things that you can possibly think of are going to occur this year, but you need to be getting ahead of how to make sure your financial future is secure, and also how are you preparing you and your family for any of the floods, the rains, the storms, the fires, or even the hurricanes that may come. And so we always believe that debt free is the way to live fully and truly free from the matrix, and also how you can live your dreams and allow your dreams to become a reality by traveling the world. And so follow us on this journey. If you've enjoyed today's episode, you can feel free to stay in touch with myself and also our team by going to www.smartjewelz, Jewelz, enterprises.org. That's smartjewelz enterprises. Or you can follow me on LinkedIn and also on YouTube at King Jewelz Speaks or at Julian Smartrimple. But you definitely want to track with us to sign up for any of our resources. We have financial coaching services that we offer. We have online courses. We have events, conferences, and also different trips that we take for solo and also group trips, who are individuals wanting to travel the world and be around other content creators and entrepreneurs who are looking to be debt free and to also have a FIRE movement to retire early. So track with us. If you've been following my journey for any length of time, you know I'm all about teaching financial wellness, health and wellness, and most importantly, personal transformation. And so we are wanting to transform our finances this year, but you have to do your part and also connect with us and our services that we offer, and stay tuned for the next episode. I'm King Jewelz signing off for our special episode that we just were able to launch today with Samir Galat, who dropped a ton of jewels on how you need to be informed about FinTech, and FinTech is the future. And so we'll see y'all next episode. Y'all stay hydrated, stay blessed, shine bright like the bright diamond jewel you've been created to be. And until we meet again, peace, y'all.